Hi, Josh.
Hi, how's it going?
Everything's good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking the time to do this interview.
No problem.
Well,
My
awesome.
pleasure.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. And I'm glad to be able to help promote the brand new album from Cut Up, Wherever They May Rot, which is coming out tomorrow, or just in a few hours for you, through Metal Blade. So what went into making the next album?
Sorry, come again, please?
Oh, sorry. What went into making this album? Like how did
what
it
do you
all
mean?
come about? Like, the songwriting and all that stuff?
Well, I guess things went just as they usually do, like a normal way, so to speak. Our process of working and writing new songs are usually that we write the music first, and it's usually one of us that writes a song completely before he presents it to the rest of the band. Write everything and arrange everything and record it in his home studio and make a simple demo of it. And then play it to the other guys, and usually we say, yeah, this is great. And after that, we work with the lyrics. But if there is some parts or something in a song that may need to be adjusted or has to be worked on, we usually do that together at our rehearsal place. So in the end, it's everyone has his voice heard, So it's not like we're jamming to when we write. It's like a one-man job. But all of us, are writers. All guys in the band that's contributed with both music and lyrics on this album, also on the previous one.
Well, I can definitely say that it's, from a fan perspective, it's definitely paying off, since this album is absolutely killer from start to finish and everything that I'm looking for in death metal.
Oh, thank you. Happy to hear that. Yeah, I think it's, it's not like we're not trying to break any new ground, but because that's not really the point with death metal now, some 20 years after the birth of the genre. We want to play it quite straightforward and do it good, So that's, I think that's what we're doing. I think now when we already have one album done, we have done a bunch of live shows. I think we have grown a bit as a band, and as we know better now how we want to sound, I guess. Because I think the new songs on the new album are a bit. I think that the overall quality is higher, I'd say. The riffing is maybe more more interesting, maybe. I definitely think that we have worked a lot more with the two vocalist thing that we have in Cut Up, as we have two lead vocalists. I think we have taken better care of that on the new album. So for me, that's one of the biggest differences from our debut album. And also the production, of course. That's the first and most obvious thing that you hear when you listen to it. It's way heavier and more powerful and all that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely going to bring that up, too. Of course that happens the more that you work with a band, and, obviously coming from Vomitory, now going into Cut Up, having the idea of what you wanted to do with Forensic Nightmares, but being able to expand upon it, to really getting to know what you're going for in the band, with the production, the live shows, all that stuff, really makes Wherever They May Rot just, really stand out in death metal. And again, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, you just need to be a solid death metal band if you're going to be playing that style, and you guys absolutely cover that.
Thanks. I'm happy to hear that, because that's what we want to do. I think that a lot of reviewers in metal media today, they focus so much on, they always mention this thing that, well, this isn't groundbreaking, or these guys are not reinventing the wheel, blah, blah, blah. They put so much focus on that all bands should, be inventive in any way. And they usually say it in a negative way, I think. And I think that sucks, because often that doesn't give the right the right kind of. It's not fair to the band at any time, I think, because I think it's. I mean, if it's a great band, it's a great band. It doesn't have to be difficult, you know.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. I mean, there are so many bands out there that are doing with the experimentation in death metal, are doing way more technical death metal. But if I can't remember the riffs, if I can't find some good melodies and harmonies that go along with the death metal, I'm gonna get bored with it easily when I listen to the album. And with Cut Up, that is not the case, because every song has something that stands out to me. There's always riffs that I can recognize and remember and enjoy, and that's what an album should have.
Yeah, I think so too. It's not that I'm saying that those like super technical or like progressive death metal bands that they suck, because mostly they don't, because they're great musicians and all that, and they put a lot of effort into their work. But I think it's the negative thing comes from a lot of the negative things come from the metal media, I think. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yes, and again, I couldn't agree with that more. I mean, there's so many people in my line of business that are always looking for the next trend so they can be ahead of everybody else, whereas someone like me, I just want to help promote good music, no matter what style it is.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and it's just like with Cut Up. I mean, it brings me back to that old school death metal mentality, and it's refreshing to hear that in 2017, and just focusing on riffs, which I think was lost for quite a while. Not just focusing on getting the right melodies and right note patterns together to make something memorable rather than just showing off.
Yeah, cool. I'm happy. We're definitely on the same page there. Our music is pretty basic, if you could say that, but it's still death metal and with a modern production and so on. So I think that makes Cut Up a relevant band.
Although I will say, the more that I listen to your playing, it's not so basic what you're doing on the kits. I mean, the speeds that you're pulling off and playing it so cleanly takes a lot of talent to be able to pull off.
well, thank you, but it's still it's quite basic. I mean, nowadays the drummers they can play almost anything. The kids of today.
Oh,
but I'm talking more about like song structures and that kind of thing. It's not very, as you said, it's quite memorable music that we're doing. It's quite catchy, even though it's still fast and brutal.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, I keep going back to that because that always stands out to me more. I mean, it's not me necessarily bashing any bands that do more technical styles, but it's just I love having something that I can easily remember and go back and enjoy it. So, I mean, when there's so many bands that are being able to run the scales and run the fretboard or doing over-the-top crazy stuff in the same kind of style, the same kind of tuning, you start to lose track of what song was by which band, where you can go back to like the 90s old-school death metal where you can recognize those signature guitar tones, you can recognize that production, and it gives you something to remember.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree with you.
So, with that, when you were recording with Cut Up, have you changed your setup at all since the first album, or are you keeping the same setup, drum-wise?
Drum-wise, well, it's basically the same setup, with the exception that during the recording of Forensic Nightmares, our debut album, I had only one kick drum with a double pedal, and but now I have two kicks again. So I temporarily switched there for a while, but I have two kicks and 10, 12, 13 rack toms and 16 floor tom and a 14 snare drum. And cymbal-wise, I have, well, that's pretty much the same. Maybe with an addition of I don't know what's it called. It's a small 12-inch China splash with holes in it. I think it's called Piccolo Trash or something like that. Piccolo China Trash, something like that. It's a line book. So I have 17, 18, 19 medium crashes and 22 heavy bell rides and a 20. Yeah, it's a 20-inch MB20 rock China and a 10-inch Bison's splash and a 18 as a kind of a trash trash crash or something. It's like an 18-inch crash with holes in it. Sounds really dirty and nasty, and very nice effect symbols. So that's and a pair of hi-hats, of course.
Yeah, that sounds like an amazing setup, and it definitely sounds great, especially when it's produced and EQ'd for the Cut Up album, because like everything just sounds very distinctive on the album, drum-wise, and it's really cool to hear the kind of setup it is, because I'm envisioning it in my head, and it's a great setup.
Yeah, cool. I'm a huge fan of natural drum sounds like acoustic drums, but in today's production, it has become kind of the standard to replace drum sounds, which we also did. It also depends who is mixing and so on. And Dan Svane, who did the mixing on this one, that's the way he works. But we only replaced kicks and like 40% of the snare, or 50%. So the snare drum is like half sample and half the acoustic sound, and all the toms are actually all acoustic, so no replacements at all on the toms. That's really cool, because I really love the tom sound on the new album. It's really, really heavy and distinctive.
Yeah, that's one of the things that stuck out to me most, was when you're doing those tom fills, and it just sounded so natural, and I really appreciate that especially in this style.
Cool. Yeah, I think it works really good.
So, having like a master of music like Dan Svane being able to help with the album, what was it like to be able to work with him?
Sorry, there was some kind of interruption there. Say it again, please.
Oh, not a problem. So, with having Dan Svane being able to help with the album, what was it like to be able to work with him for the new Cut Up album?
Well, it was good. I've been working with him before with one of my other previous bands called Torture Division. He always took care of the mixing of our music, and it was always very smooth, working with him. He lives in Germany, so we never met during the process. So we sent the files to him, and he worked with our album in his studio in Germany. And he sent us files, and we gave feedback, and then with small changes and all that. Then he sent us another mix, and we went back and forth like that a few times, and until we felt that this is it. So it went smooth, although we thought we would have the final mix quicker, actually, because there were a few minor things that we were lacking, but we just had to fine-tune it a little bit more until we were really, really satisfied with it. So working with him is always it's very convenient and very easy. Also, Anders Bertilsson, our guitarist, he also worked with Dan Svane earlier with his previous band, Cold Worker. So we're quite familiar with him, and he's also familiar with us. So everything went really smooth, and he did a killer job, to say the least.
Yeah, without question. With the talent that's in the band, and having someone like Dan Svane being help with the production and mastering of the album, it's great to see like masters of death metal being able to put out such a quality album in 2017.
Cool. Yeah, thanks.
No problem. So what's next for the band?
Well, we have a few shows booked during the spring and summer. Of course, we want to play live as much as possible, but I think we have like 7 or 8 shows confirmed so far. Some festivals in Germany, Finland. We're also playing in Sweden, where more we're playing in Holland and Belgium as well. And later, I think it was in October, we're playing in Slovakia as well. So there's some fun shows ahead, and we're constantly working on getting more shows, and we would love to go overseas too, of course. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I would definitely love to see that happen at some point. I mean, I would absolutely love to be able to see you guys live, but it's great to see that you guys are getting out there and giving the album the proper promotion that it deserves in a live setting.
Yeah, we would love to go on tour as well, but it's at the moment that wouldn't work for us because our private lives. Well, I'm not going to go into detail. It has to do with the work and studies, basically. So, but I mean, a short tour should definitely work, but not like being out for a month or two. That would be too much. But yeah, we're definitely a band that we're all hungry to get out and play. That's what we. To us, playing live, that's the ultimate reward. That's the peak of it all. Working with the new songs, writing them, rehearsing them together, and then eventually record them. Having to wait a bunch of months before the album is released, and then the album is released. Then that's when the new album is out. Then you want to go up on the stage, and just play all the time, because that's the ultimate, I think, through the whole process, so to speak, to play those songs live and to meet the fans and having a great time together. That's the best, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And even when it is on a more small scale, like doing some short tours, mini tours, or some one-off appearances, it makes the shows that much more special because you're finally getting that appreciation live from the fans being there right in front of you, getting to play those songs live. It's a great experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you've been known for doing such amazing work like this, I mean, through all the bands that you've been a part of, I mean, when you get to do a guest spot like you did on the brand new Amon Amarth album, was it a challenge for you, or were you able to adapt to that pretty quickly?
Well, I did adapt to it pretty quickly, but at the same time, it was a challenge because, I mean, it's not like Amon Amarth plays very difficult music, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Not in a negative way at all, but at the same time, I had to, I don't know how to say it. Well, I had to, adjust my playing or adapt to get into the right groove, so to speak. But it went pretty fast anyway. I mean, when we wrote that song, because I was also part of the writing process with Amon Amarth, so we wrote the stuff together, and I wrote the drum parts well, of course. Olavi and Johan, who write most of the music, they had ideas of how the drums should be played, so I basically played what they wanted me to play, but with my own style, of course.
Oh yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine like Torture Division or cut up style drums on an Amon Amarth album, but you can definitely tell that it has your kind of style to it in an Amon Amarth setting, which I really appreciate from the album. I mean, being able to showcase yourself, but still playing for what calls for in the music.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm quite happy with the result, actually. Of course, I always think that I can do better, or I could do different, or and all that. The usual brain ghosts that comes after a recording. But once the album was done, and I got some distance to it, and I listened to it again, I'm really happy with it. And yeah, obviously, it's quite successful.
Oh, definitely. Well, I'll let you go here. Thank you for taking the time to do this interview. I know you're running a little bit late, but I'm glad you were still able to make time to be able to talk to me about the brand new album from Cut Up, Wherever They May Rot, which comes out tomorrow through Metal Blade, or just in a few hours for you overseas. It was a great honor to be able to talk to you. I'm a huge fan of your playing for a long time now, and it's great to be able to talk music, talk metal, all this great stuff. And before we're done, is there anything else that you'd like to mention that I haven't brought up yet?
Well, I'm sure there is, but tell your local promoter to book a Cut Up or a show or festival. Maybe that. And you can support us because we have merch, T-shirts and such available from our website. It's always welcome to buy a shirt from us.